All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a powerful strategy for building truly incredible products. And we're going to start with a company that honestly has an almost unfair advantage when it comes to getting it right. So, this seems like a simple question, right? But the answer? Well, it's the key to a huge secret in product development. It's really all about closing that gap between what you think your users want and what they actually need. Okay, so let's get into it. We're going to start with a software company called JetBrains. Now, these guys have a fascinating advantage. You see, they're developers who build these incredibly complex tools, and guess who their primary customers are? Yep, other developers. Just think about that for a second. These aren't just some products they're selling to other people. No, these are the very tools their own engineers use every single day to do their jobs. I mean, they literally depend on their own stuff to build that same stuff. It creates this amazing, immediate, and constant feedback loop. Now, this practice actually has a name in the tech world, and yeah, it's a little bit strange. It's called dogfooding. It comes from that old saying, eat your own dog food, which basically just means using your own product inside your own company. The idea here is really simple, but it's also incredibly profound. See, dogfooding forces a company to become its own first, and honestly, its most critical customer. If a feature is clunky or a bug is just super annoying, you're not waiting for a customer to file a support ticket. Nope, your own team feels that pain directly and immediately. And this quote just nails the core benefit. You stop guessing what users might want, and you start solving real, tangible problems, the ones you're actually experiencing yourself. The whole focus shifts from, just speculating to pure authenticity. So the benefits end up creating this awesome virtuous cycle. You get instant feedback, right? Because your own team's productivity is on the line. You're solving genuine problems, not just making stuff up. And the best part? A lot of the time, you discover what users really need before they even know how to ask for it. But here's the thing. This isn't just some tactic you can copy and paste into any company. It's way deeper than that. It's a cultural mindset. It goes beyond just being your own user. So let's take a look at how another company gets to a pretty similar result, but through a totally different path. Okay, so let's talk about GitHub. Now, they aren't their own customer in the exact same way JetBrains is, right? But they get to a similar place through a different core principle, optimizing for developer happiness. It's brilliant. By making sure their own engineers absolutely love the product they're building, they manage to keep this incredibly intense focus on the user. So this deep connection with your user, it is absolutely crucial. And to really see why, let's look at a cautionary tale. What happens when a company loses that connection completely? I mean, do you remember BlackBerry? Back in 2007, they were on top of the world. Their name was smartphones. They were famous for those physical keyboards and that super secure email that all the executives just had to have. But then Apple launched the iPhone, and just like that, everything changed. While the rest of the world was falling head over heels for touchscreens and apps, what was BlackBerry doing? They were doubling down, perfecting the features of the past. They got so focused on optimizing the old game that they completely missed the fact that a new game had started. They ended up building the world's best product for a market that was just vanishing before their eyes. So that begs the question, right? If you aren't your own customer, how do you avoid that trap? How do you keep that intense focus on what people actually want? Well, Amazon came up with a brilliantly simple but super powerful solution. You see, back in the early days, Amazon's teams were pretty much at war with each other. You had engineering wanting more time, marketing wanting to launch faster, and their meetings just turned into these battlegrounds over internal priorities and who got what resources. So to fix this, founder Jeff Bezos brought in a rule, a simple but really profound rule for every important meeting. And this one rule would completely reframe every single argument from that point on. He made it a rule that one chair at the table had to be left empty, always. Why? Because that chair was for the most important person in the room, the customer. And all of a sudden, arguments weren't about what was best for the marketing team or what was easiest for engineering. No, they were about what was best for the person sitting in that empty chair. It forced every single team to argue on behalf of the customer, instead of just for themselves. So at the end of the day, whether it's through a perfect dogfooding setup like at JetBrains or a simple empty chair like at Amazon, the lesson is exactly the same. The companies that really win, they're the ones that never ever forget who they're building for. So the only question left for you is, who's sitting in your empty chair?